Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. Welcome to PHLY Flyers, presented by your local Ford store and Bet365. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. Joining me today in the Xfinity studio, it is the one and only Kelly Hinkle. What's up today, Hinks?
Can I be weird for a second?
Yeah.
I was listening to yesterday's show on my way back to the city this afternoon. And can I just say that, like, you're so good at, you're so good at this. And it's so neat that you're my friend.
Whenever
You're like
I
a
do
person that I know.
I do those solo shows and I'm like, yeah, this will be fine. And then I'm halfway into it and I'm like, I need a co-host to keep my internal monologue from just becoming, I have no idea if these sentences make sense or not.
No,
Like
you're
I really,
so
I
good.
assume it's okay because no one's fired me yet. But like, I am just like, I find myself jumping from like thing 1 to 3 to thing 2 back to like, and then I'm confused myself and I just have to wrangle it in.
It was outstanding.
Thank you.
It's a great show.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we are here live from the Xfinity studio. It is the PHLY Flyers show, brought to you by your local Ford store and Bet365. We have a bunch of stuff to get to today. Want to revisit a few of yesterday's topics because, one, we didn't really have definitive answers on them, and two, I'd like to have a conversation with another person about them. But a couple of things I want to get to. First, it's the road trip. We are heading out to Anaheim, March 17th to the 22nd. We are going to see the Ducks in Anaheim, Boo Cutter up close and in person. We are going to see the Kings in LA. There's going to be a watch party. I believe it's on the beach for the San Jose game. John LeClaire is coming along. Come join the whole gang. It's going to be me, Charlie, Kelly, Brenna. We're going to be having a terrific time. I'm just saying you're going, Kelly. It's
maybe if we say it over and over again, they won't be able to take it back.
Yeah, Philly Sports Trip sent us to Montreal last season.
It was
we had
the best
an awesome time.
ever.
No one does a better trip than Philly Sports Trip. So go to allphly.com right now. Get your deposit down. Make your reservation. Make sure you have this thing locked down. You're not going to want to miss it, and it's going to sell out. Once the holidays are here, I can't tell you how many are going to be left. So you're going to want to get in ASAP.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, when you put a deposit down and you pay for it over time, what that means is that when you go on the trip is free.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. No, that's how I do math.
Exactly.
Yeah, we probably have.
What happened previously is unimportant. When I leave for the trip, I will be paying $0. Hence, the trip is free.
Yeah, exactly. We also have the DieHard sale going on right now. Perfect time to get in for the football club special. $36 for the year. You get the free football club t-shirt, access to all the premium content, access to the Discord, discount on merch and events. There's a ton of benefits to being a diehard. Some new ones, maybe announced kind of soon. We'll see. I don't know exactly what I'm allowed to say and not, so I just like to hint. But yeah, the diehard sale, perfect time. Listen, football kicks off tomorrow. Hockey and basketball right around the corner. Red October coming up. There is no better time to get in on this $36 for the full year. Go to allphly.com for that. And you may have noticed yesterday, if you were tuned in, right there in the chat box, right below the chat box, we have a little donate tab. You can donate to the Big Brothers Big Sisters as we are celebrating Big Brothers Big Sisters month here at PHLY. We're going to be celebrating all month. We have a goal of 50K here for the entire All City Network. I think for, you know, what are we in, 5-6 cities at this point? Too low. I want to break that just PHLY and leave everyone else in the dust because, listen, we're all a big family and everything, but I want to dominate them.
No. Like, you have to beat your brothers and sisters at everything. So we have to beat them.
The Eagles are obviously going to blow out Dallas tomorrow. I want to crush DLLS in this as well, just to set the tone.
Yeah.
Just to set the tone for that.
Everyone needs to know what's up.
But make sure you hit that donate tab. You're all very, very generous when it comes to so many of the things we do here. I know we ask quite a bit of you, but this is for an excellent cause, and the money you put into Super Chats, just put it into this week. Not the hardest thing in the world for you. A couple of bucks here or there will go a long way. That is all of that. All right, Kelly, let's get into it.
Yep.
So I was alone yesterday. I want to revisit a couple of things. First, did you have fun following along the CBA reporting? The CBA reporting just comes out. Frank Saravalli who's continuing his work as an insider. It's pretty interesting to watch.
He's still got the contacts.
But yeah,
You know.
your phone doesn't go bad when you're just, not with a
He can
certain
still
outlet
text
anymore.
people.
Yeah. So Frank Saravalli was first on it. Everyone else started jumping in, but there's apparently going to be parts of the new CBA, which technically don't come into effect until September 16th of next year.
Yeah.
Parts of it are going to basically be enacted right now when the season begins. Some of it is going to be July 1st of next year. And then some of it is going to be when the actual CBA takes place.
Yeah.
But the big thing was, our 19-year-olds going to be allowed to be loaned to the AHL this year, or is that one of the things that's not going to come into play until next season? And obviously Flyers have a vested interest in this because they have the perfect candidate in Jett Luchanko to be their one, basically exceptional status player that each team will be granted. And it seems, I have the updated list that we got from Puckpedia, the things being enacted. So a couple of these things are interesting, but AHL loans for 19-year-old players, not yet in effect, but an effort is being made to negotiate this with the CHL for this upcoming season. So we don't know yet if it's going to be possible, but Charlie reached out. Who else? Jackie Spiegel as well said, league source, team source, whatever. Everyone's operating under the assumption you're not going to be able to have one 19-year-old in the AHL this season.
So when you list it all out like that there in black and white, literally, it's very interesting to me that all of these things that we've decided to enact early are things that are just sucking the fun out of our lives.
Well, that's
like playoff salary cap. I'm not having fun. Changes to LTIR, less fun. Restrictions on paper loans. We're not having as much. It's just like, okay, guys, listen. We're just going to make it harder for you to do fun things immediately. All the fun stuff, though, you got to wait a couple of years.
So the playoff salary cap, I know a lot of people have been wanting that. I don't really care, but whatever.
I don't care either, because I would like my team to also take advantage of these kinds of things.
That's the thing, is now that the Flyers, maybe not this season, but maybe in the near future, I would like them to be able to take advantage of these things.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could LTIR like Sean Couturier for 6 months, and now all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
And then just bring him back for the playoffs to win faceoffs?
Exactly. I would have liked to take advantage of this, but here we are.
And so there's going to be, every team has to submit to the league register on playoff game days. The lineup of players you dress has to be cap compliant. Now you can still, because you're going to get some LTIR relief.
Right.
So you can still kind of go over leading into the playoffs, but not as much. But on actual game day, your guys dressed have to be cap compliant for that season salary cap limit. The LTIR thing is interesting. A guy like Ryan Ellis, you're still going to get the full thing. The entire cap hit, basically taken off the books, or you're allowed to go over the cap, his amount, basically. But for a player deemed not out for the entire season, a guy who might come back, like a Mark Stone or a Matt Tkachuk or something, you're only going to get the average salary of an NHL player. So if he makes 9, but the average is 3.6, you can go over 3.6. Basically, that is the new rule, which probably makes sense. I guess, if you're gonna have the playoff salary cap, it's like, well, yeah, these teams are way over, and then now there's gonna be a lot of teams going a man or two short in the playoffs if they were to do that, which would be interesting.
It would.
But the playoffs are insane, and there's so many injuries. I would like to see how that would, a 5 overtime game, team has 16 skaters dressed.
Oh boy,
that would be kind of fun. So those are kind of the most interesting things. The paper recall, you have to spend 1 day in the AHL, so you can't bank cap space on off days. You your waiver exempt players, a lot of times teams loan them to the AHL on an off day. They never actually go, but you bank space every day. So you have fewer guys on your roster, and then you call them back up. Now they have to play a game in the AHL.
Oh, so they have to play a game.
Or at least be on the roster for a game. I don't know if they actually have to play.
Okay, because I was thinking, if you send them, because the advantage that the Flyers would have here is that Allentown's right
Not
there.
that far, yeah.
So, if you just have to physically bust them up to Allentown for a couple of days, and then they have to physically come back, that's not that hard.
There was a guy they were doing that to nonstop a few years ago. I cannot remember. And we made the joke constantly.
Oh my
It would be
God.
funny if there was like a tag up rule where you had to like go and clock in and then clock out. I will never.
I'm going to find out.
Yeah, the BSH Slack will
Yeah.
come up with that. I will never remember who it was. But that's really all there was in terms of interesting stuff. The retention on traded contracts, which is going to make maybe there's more earlier season trades, but actual deadline day, like you're not going to get an $8 million player. Oh, someone covered 50 and then someone covered another 50.
Right.
You're not going to be able to do that anymore.
Right, because we don't want to see too many trades happen, Bill. That's crazy.
Some of this stuff, I'm like, what's the point? Like, why take that away? I would like to see like certain things that I didn't understand, like when they do the bonus structure, that I didn't really see the full effect of it, and Charlie explained it to us. Actually, it hurts a team like Florida too, because they get all their money in Florida in the tax situation.
Right.
But this, I just like, who's it hurting if you have double retention on a salary?
Nobody.
Who cares?
No, because like teams have negotiated this deal
And
they've decided, yes, we will pay 50% of this 50% in exchange for a third round pick or whatever. Like, why do you care?
for a league that really, really prides itself on quote unquote parity, it hurts teams trying to rebuild. That's my thing, is like, that is a weapon teams can utilize to attempt to gather more assets. Like,
Yeah.
we have seen it done. You get assets for taking on bad contracts,
Briere
or
did
for
it.
playing middleman and these sorts of deals. And now it kind of takes that thing away. I would just like to know the reasoning for it. But so
Because
that's
they
what we
hate
know
fun.
now.
It's simply that they dislike fun things.
It seems like
They don't want anything to get too exciting.
they want GMs doing less. Like,
Yeah.
it just feels like there's going to be less movement. And that's not fun. Like, trades
Not
are
for
so
me.
fun. Maybe they're trying to put our cottage industry under. They're like, you know what? When you put trade in a headline,
Too much content out
when
there.
you put trade in a headline,
That
the
we
numbers
don't get
blow
a
up.
piece of.
We need fewer trades.
Yeah.
That will make there be less media, and that is, of course, what the NHL would love.
We would prefer
So,
no one watch our games.
Maybe we figured it out. Oh, I do believe the ideal for the NHL is the
Pandemic season.
no, the pandemics, the outdoor game they played in, what was it, Utah? Lake Tahoe.
Lake Tahoe,
Lake
yeah.
Tahoe. That is, I think, ideal.
You're not wrong.
Just a fun, nice atmosphere with zero people in the stands and no media.
Yep.
I think that is what they would love.
You're not wrong.
But all right, that's what we know about it now. But getting back to Jett Luchanko and the AHL question, Kelly. Big topic of conversation yesterday. Right now, it doesn't look like it's an option.
Yes.
Maybe it will be, but as of now, he can't play in the AHL this year. You know what would make this all real easy?
What's that?
If he just makes the freaking team.
That would
If he
be nice.
just makes the Philadelphia Flyers, has a big camp, and says, you can't send me to Guelph. It's irresponsible of you to do so. It's too
true.
good for juniors. I am here. I read in the hockey news today, and it's kind of playing off of yesterday's thing. Luchanko, like, too good for the CHL, not quite ready for the NHL. My argument is we don't know that.
I was going to say yes, that's true.
There's no way to know that yet.
Yeah.
He is young, and
I don't know what he did this summer.
yeah, I don't know. He looked like he could hold his own in the AHL.
Yeah.
He didn't get killed in the NHL last year at
No.
barely 18 years old. We know he has a tremendous work ethic. It's one of the things they loved about him. Like, during the pandemic, when his friends were playing video games, he built a gym.
Yeah.
You know,
Sicko.
and then worked out in the gym. I'd think building it would be enough, but
Right.
he did that and then more.
He did the second part. Yeah.
I'm nowhere near ready to say he's not NHL ready. Maybe
No,
after
it's-
one preseason game,
feels
I'm like,
silly to
oh,
say.
no, he actually looks worse. But like, until that happens, I think he is as good of a shot as anybody to make this team out of camp.
100%. I mean, I know that a lot of people like to like reduce what happened last season to John Tortorella was like, ooh, fast guy. I want fast guy. And that's the only reason he made the team. But I don't think that's accurate. I think that he played well enough that they were like, let's give this kid a look in the NHL.
And like,
And they did. And he wasn't terrible. Was he like a clear superstar? Like, did he step on the ice at age 17 and immediately
Basically,
look like an NHL superstar? No. But like the fact that he held his own, pretty impressive. Considering, again, 17.
and that's while like we've been through the differences, like, yes, John Tortorella not just being in love with speed and hating the centers, including like the #1 center of the team.
Right,
Like
right.
that situation is different. And they have just kind of addressed the position, at least in a way that you can be like, well, they do have 4. If you wanted to just be like, they have 4 centers who are better than him, yeah, maybe. But you also have to remember, while John is gone, the guy who drafted him, Danny Briere, who kind of went off board, kind of defied all the experts and said, I'm taking Jett Luchanko, and actually we're going to give away the pick of Zeev Buium so we can take this guy. Like, he has a say in
I was
personnel.
going to say, yeah, like it's kind of up to him a little bit.
If he likes what he sees, I can't imagine Rick Tocchet being like, no, I don't want him.
And here's the other thing. I do think the fact that he is too good for the CHL and the CHL team that he plays on is hot garbage. I do think that that's going to factor in, because I kind of think, like you were talking yesterday about how like him going back and just like lighting it up in Guelph and like just dunking on guys, which he will absolutely do. But my thought is like, that's where you start picking up bad habits.
Yes.
Like, because you don't have to try that hard. You're going to start doing lazy stuff, and you're not, like all of those little bad habits that he could pick up.
That's a great point. And it's not like laziness or whatever, but just
you don't have to.
The guys on the London Knights, Barkey and Bonk, like that team is so good. It's like we kind of have to teach them to play with more pace, because like the only guys who could stop them were their line mates,
Right.
So they didn't have to like do things at a breakneck pace, and they didn't have to be the fastest decision makers. They could circle back and do, the stuff you often have to work out of junior players' games. If at this point, like he's played 4 NHL games, Jett Luchanko, he's played some AHL games, he played some Calder Cup playoff games. He's shown it in the CHL. Yeah. This is what he is in this league. And if he now goes back at, 19, what's the point? Like, right. He's going to maybe develop those habits. I think that's also a great point, having your hands on him in the NHL. And I also don't think he's a guy where it's, oh, well, if he's not in your top 6, this is horrible. Like, I think he can play a role. Yeah. Where he earns his way up the lineup, where he is like rookie Sean Couturier. Right. Where they're like, yeah, man, you're good enough to be our 4C right now, so that's what you're going to be. And we'll get you some power play time and some penalty kill time, so you're not playing 8 minutes a night. Yeah. You're getting the time you need. But I see that as a positive for him, not a negative, even if he's not this 2C right away.
No, I agree, because at this point, it would be less about getting him minutes in the NHL and more about making sure, like you said, he's not developing bad habits, and you have your hands on him development-wise, and you can get him reps. Because like I say all the time, if you're an NHL player, you're an NHL player. I don't think you will ruin him by playing him on the 4th line 11 minutes a night for the first 6 months of the season, see if he plays his way up the lineup. You could, however, ruin him by him just like playing on a real bad hockey team where he's like bored and doesn't have to try that hard and is just like skating around slow dudes and scoring at will. Like that just doesn't seem like a good place for him to be. So I do kind of think that like, I do think that he's going to have a little bit of like banked points on the part of Danny Briere, because I do think that the team is going to want him to be here. And if they can justify it in any way, if he's good enough for them to be able to justify his spot, at least on the 4th line, I think he's definitely going to be here.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for it. Like I said yesterday, listen, it's just fun. It's cool when a guy like that makes the team.
Yeah, right.
You get to see him. He's playing for your team every night. It's not like, oh, I got to find a stream of Guelph, or even if he's in the AHL, you got to get like AHL TV or whatever. Like it's fun, but also I think like the kind of player I think he's going to be, like a Sean Couturier, where if the offense does come around, awesome, but like he's going to be a details role player no matter what.
Right.
And learning that role, I think, is more important than, oh man, he scored 150 points, for a second to last place team. Like I don't see how that's helpful.
No, it's not.
You're developing into the player that you ultimately think he's going to be, and bringing along those other skills at the level where he's going to need to apply them. Like beating CHL goalies, how many of them are going to the league?
No, not that many.
2%?
Maybe.
Like, okay, so he learned how to score more goals on them. Great. Does that help him score in the NHL? No, maybe it's a little rough going a little while for the offense, like it was with Sean Couturier.
Yeah.
But look at what Coots became. I'll take that
Pretty
development.
good.
Maybe a little faster. It'd be cool if it happened a little faster, but hopefully Rick Tocchet, a better coach than the guys that Coots came up under. But like, I really don't see the downside unless you watch him in the preseason and it's like, yeah, he really isn't ready. But I have trouble believing he can't be this team's 4C, get some PK time, get 14 minutes a night.
Yeah, I see no reason. I see no reason to say that that's not a possibility. Like the idea to outright say he's not ready for the NHL, I think is silly at this point.
Yeah. All right. With that, let us take our first commercial break. So my buddy is just absolutely pumped to be hosting all the friends for the opening kickoff tomorrow of the football season. He can't wait. We're going to watch the banner unveiling. He's just got a bar in his backyard. He's got the whole setup. He's really looking forward to it. But we're watching some baseball over there the other day, and connection just isn't great, and nobody wants to watch sports like that. There's some lagging, some buffering, going between apps is taking forever. And while he's a real big fan, I feel like maybe he's been fan fished a little. He's been fan fishing us a little bit, because if you call yourself a huge sports fan, you got to have Xfinity. It's the ultimate sports destination. You can find the best games and your favorite teams all in one place, and the watching experience, the viewing experience is next level. It's the perfect fan flex. I've got all the action right in my living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K, so it's so clear it feels like I'm in the arena. Sometimes I've got four games going at once because, again, fan flex. You get that quad box, you use it. On top of that, I get real-time notifications and live stats right on my television. It's the best seat in the house every single time. So next game day, make sure that big fan in your life isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multi-view requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box. While we're here, it's time to tell you about that Ford F-Series. The legendary Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks in America for 48 straight years.
48?
Oh, that's almost like the length of our cup drought. The F-150, the only thing longer than how great Ford has been is the Flyers Cup drought. The F-150 blends work-ready toughness with modern-day tech and luxury, offers 6 powertrain options, including a hybrid and a fully electric Lightning model. It's got best-in-class towing, up to 14,000 pounds, depending on your configuration. It's got military-grade aluminum alloy body. It's tough, lightweight, and corrosion-resistant. Maybe if you're a shore person, you got to look into that corrosion resistance. It's got the advanced Sync 4 system with cloud-based voice recognition and over-the-air updates. It's got the interior work surface, folds out to become a desk inside your truck. That's pretty convenient. Maybe get some work done. Maybe don't spill your lunch all over yourself. Whatever it is, you have to go with Ford. And the Ford Blue Cruise hands-free highway driving system is also available in certain trims, because sometimes you just got to take your hands off the wheel. No, don't do that. That's a joke.
Don't do that.
I was like, how can I say this responsibly? I can't. Don't do that. But listen, sometimes things happen and car can take over a little bit. For more information, visit your local Ford store. All right.
Wait, I got news.
Oh, news.
Justin Bailey.
Yep. The
Thank
guy
you,
that they
Brad
sent back and
Keffer.
forth so many times.
Justin
Absolutely.
Bailey. Phantoms legend, Justin Bailey.
All the jokes about sending him, like making him drive to Allentown, clock in, and it's okay. You're called back up. You clock out now. Yeah, it was Justin Bailey. But things would be so easy if the NHL was just like, yeah, 19-year-olds, you're in.
Exactly.
But not the case yet. That's another thing. Like, maybe Charlie has a better understanding of this. I don't understand why there have to be negotiations with the CHL.
I agreed with what you said yesterday.
Isn't the NHL in charge here?
No, you're
Like,
imposing your will.
What we say goes, deal with it.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
what are you going to lose your, like, oh yeah, the CHL isn't talking to us. You know what that would be great for? The USHL. Like,
I know, right?
This is
Like,
a direct line to the NHL from you have to keep your feeder league strong, I understand. Because if those leagues don't exist, your league suffers in the long run. And not having premier players, but the thing is, the Connor McDavids of the world are in the NHL at 18 anyway.
Exactly.
Like, Jett Luchanko, is he really moving the needle in terms of, like, 12th, 13th overall pick?
Clearly not in Guelph.
Yeah,
He
like,
can't make them good.
and if it's only one guy for each team, I don't really see this
It's really
as
not a big
like,
deal.
oh, well, we really have to take the CHL into consider. But maybe there's some sort of memorandum of understanding that
knows?
I don't understand. We'll ask Charlie whenever the hell he's back. Where in the world is Charlie O'Connor?
Who can say?
All right. There's
he was
some
on a
other
boat.
guys with an opportunity to make this team that I want to talk about.
Okay.
A couple. Well, one, because he was featured on Broad Street Hockey's Top 25.
Oh.
Under 25 today, number 15, Nikita Grebenkin. He also showed up in Charlie and Alex's ranking of the top 20 Flyers prospects, which is available at allphly.com right now. If you're not a diehard, great time to sign up. $36 for the year. But Nikita Grebenkin is very interesting. Came over in the Scott Lawton trade. Had an awesome start to the year with the Marlies. Got called up to the Leafs. Played 7 games up there. Got sent back down. Production fell off a bit. And he was, by all accounts, good for the Phantoms. I don't know if he set the world on fire. But his combination of skating, skill, size, toughness, all that stuff does kind of make him an interesting option for this Flyers team. You guys had him ranked at 15. Charlie and Alex ranked him at 10 on their prospects list. There's a difference between top 25, under 25, and prospects.
Yeah.
Matvei Michkov probably going to be on your list, I would guess. Whereas it's only prospects with Charlie and Alex.
Right.
Too.
Yeah.
So there's just a little difference. But either way, pretty good. Pretty high ranking for this player who has shown some flashes and I think has an outside chance to make this team, which was stated by assistant general manager Brent Flahr just the other day when Charlie did his conversation about the top 20 prospects. He does this every year, sits down with Brent Flahr and asks about each guy. Well, it was either today or yesterday they published the winger portion of it. He does it by position group. And Grebenkin came up. And Brent Flahr says, yeah, I think he could make the team. I think he knows how to play in all zones. Even if he's on the fourth line, he's still a guy that's going to try to score and not just try to survive shifts. He's played pro for a while because he was over in the KHL. I think he could potentially be that guy. And he's not 18. Like, he is a little older. I think he's 22. Yeah, he's 22 years old. I am very interested in, like, we're talking, okay, you can find playing time for a guy like Jett Luchanko. I think Grebenkin fits into that as well, where even if he's on your fourth line and he's out there, he's using his size, getting in on the forecheck, something also, Rick Tocchet told us straight up, very interested in doing. He could also maybe be a piece on one of the power play units just because they only have so many guys who can get in on the cycle, get to the front of the net, use their hands in front, tip shots, use their strength to keep themselves screening the goalie. While it is kind of, okay, we're going to have a specialist who's got 7 games of NHL experience. He's 22. They just don't have a ton of those guys. Like, maybe it can be Alex Bump, but we don't know.
Right.
I kind of want Sean Couturier in sort of that role on the first unit because they need a center to win a faceoff. But I think Grebenkin, between what he could bring this power play and just, listen, he might be good. Like, he's got a chance.
I mean, I would much rather see him than Nick Delorier playing on the fourth line. So, that's easy. I mean, but it's interesting because he has a really, the combination of size. Like, he's a big kid, and he's got, like, good hands. Like, he's not going to be a superstar by any stretch, but like was said in the article on BSH, it's not a super high ceiling, but it's also not a very low floor. Like, I think that he's kind of like a sure thing as a bottom 6 guy that, as you said, could bring something probably to the second unit, and also could, even with fourth line minutes, probably put a couple of goals in here and there just because he's got the skill to do so, and will likely, be matched up against less talented players on the other team. So, it's a really interesting opportunity for him. And he is a guy that I would like to see get a shot just because, like you said, he fits the timeline perfectly. He's definitely got some skill. He showed it in the AHL. And obviously the team thinks it needs to be bigger, and he's big. So, like, I do think that he has a pretty solid shot of making the roster out of camp.
Yeah, and it's
Unless he's like a dud in camp for some reason.
Yeah, and listen, all these things are like, and then when we see him, we'll know.
Exactly.
Like right now, I'm just looking at what I think this team could be. Like we were talking about someone, we did the mailbag yesterday, and someone asked me for my power play 1 unit, and it's like, other than Michkov, no one is a lock. I'm sorry, not even Travis Konechny. I have him on that unit because like, who else is going to do it?
Who else? Yeah.
But like, this power play has been so bad for so long. Nobody gets to just get that ice time because, oh, well, I deserve it.
No.
Like, no, you don't. I'm sorry. It's been the worst power play in the league like 3 or 4 years in a row.
Exactly.
Like, I keep doing the 33rd out of 32 teams thing, but go to NHL.com and unclick the sum results thing. They are ranked 33rd over the last 3 years.
So impressive.
That's horrendous. Like, so nobody has a spot. So if you are, I know, like, okay, we can't plan the whole lineup around how we make this power play better. But if it's your 4th line and it's like this guy can do other things other than, like Brent Flahr said, just survive a shift, which is what they seem to think he could do. Like, oh, yeah, the 4th line might be actually kind of playable. Another thing that would be great for Jett Luchanko, like, okay, you're not just out there with Hathaway and Delorier.
Right, exactly,
you know?
yeah.
Like, okay, the 4th line we can give 13 minutes to, and 1 or 2 of these guys can be on the second power play unit. That makes the team better. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, get a top 5 pick again.
It's not happening, dude.
That's not their goal.
No.
Perhaps.
Also, it's not happening. Like, the team is simply not bad enough. Like, do you want them to trade all of the good players that we have?
I do think, like,
if the goaltending stinks again, we'll get there.
I do think there's one thing
That's
that could sink it. Like, Ersson gets hurt.
Yes.
Vladar has to play way too much, and all of a sudden Fedotov's on the team again.
Yeah.
Like, that could put them
happen.
in with decent lottery odds. But like outside of that, I think they're, and like you can't discount it because again, just like the power play, goaltending horrendous last year.
Happen. Yeah.
Horrendous. I was listening to Puck Soup today, and they were just laughing at our goaltending situation again.
They're right.
And I was like, being close to it, like I was saying, like I have a little more like, yeah, I think Sam Ersson could be something, but if you just look at the results, it's no, you're an idiot if you think that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I can't argue. I can't argue that. Like, I can't argue because you could just go, what are the results?
Right.
And it's like, well,
not good.
Fair enough. But yeah, if the goaltending is terrible, it could happen. But if the goal is to be better, even if the goaltending is bad, like, you know how you fight good goaltending or bad goaltending? Score more
goals.
Like, how bad would it be if this team was fun to watch? Like, is that not the goal? Like, in a perfect world, they score 5 goals a game and miss the playoffs by a lot. You know, like, okay, so everything is good and we got to fix the goalies.
Also,
great.
Like, all they had to do was fix, like, even with the goaltending, if the power play was good, they would have been in the playoff chase. Like they're just
at least be okay, you know?
They're just not that bad. If you are still dreaming tank dreams, you got to give it up, dude. It's dead. It's done. The team's too good, and they're not going to trade all the young players that are good because that doesn't make any sense. So like, just get over it.
Like I said yesterday, I think
no top 5 picks.
There could be guys traded still, but I think it's more like someone asked the question: if they are nowhere close to a playoff spot again, could that happen? And I think it's more like the make or break guys you talked about with Charlie last week. Like, yeah, if Owen Tippett doesn't bounce back, if Bobby Brink suddenly, it's like, yeah, we have Grebenkin and he's bigger and they're gonna have the same production. Like things like that.
Yeah, sure.
I could see players getting traded. But I don't think it's going to be, we're just done with Frost and Farabee. Like, I don't see that happening.
They've explicitly said we're not in that phase of the rebuild anymore.
It's no longer addition by subtraction.
Right. We're not doing the subtraction for subtraction's sake at this point.
We are still trying to get questions answered, but it's kind of like, what else do we need? Not who the hell doesn't belong here.
Exactly.
It's kind of that. We need to get something else. How do we do it?
Right.
That's kind of where they are. But yeah, I think Grebenkin is a maybe underrated camp story because we're going to be watching Luchanko. We're going to be watching Alex Bump, who we all kind of think is like in for one reason or another. We're all like, Alex Bump's making this team.
Obsessed with
but
him.
It could just as easily be Grebenkin in one of those spots. They do have a ton of wingers. Forster perhaps being ready to start the season. Like, all right, maybe there's not as many wing spots open, but it's always good to give guys a shot.
It certainly is, especially at this stage of the game. Like, this is the time when we need to see who is going to be good enough to push players out and who's going to be bad enough to get pushed out of the spot that they already have. Like you said, like Bobby Brink,
who I like a lot.
I like him too, but if someone plays better than him and he doesn't step up to the plate and earn his spot over Alex Bump or Nikita Grebenkin, whoever it is, all right, then cool. I like you, dude, but like you aren't it anymore because we got a better guy.
And just in terms of like, we
And
know
gotta figure that out.
We know they need stuff, and maybe they're able to address a bunch of it through drafting, and maybe they're able to sign some free agents.
Yeah.
But free agency basically doesn't exist anymore. They're gonna have to trade roster players for these assets.
Yes.
Having a bunch of them accumulated means you're maybe not gonna lose something if you trade a Tippett or a Drysdale or a Brink or whoever doesn't maybe take that step necessary and someone else supplants them.
Yes.
Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing if you have to trade somebody if you're bringing in something else. So
Exactly.
I am kind of excited about Grebenkin, and just, it's one of those could be a boat things. Like the analysis in the BSH story. I always say BHS. The analysis of the BSH story, like the maybe low ceiling, but definitely high floor. You need those guys too.
Yeah.
Like someone who, like Brent Flahr said, won't just be surviving the ship. What if we had a really good fourth line?
Wouldn't that be something?
Wouldn't that be fun if it wasn't like
a wild concept? It's not just a bunch of dudes out there to skate around and hit players and fight sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe they score a goal.
If they could pot a goal now and then and get in on the forecheck, you know what would make establishing the forecheck and establishing possession easier?
Good players?
If the bottom six was also doing it, it would make it easier for the top six to do it. Like, these things are all
crazy ideas.
These things are all kind of related. So I am cautiously optimistic about Grebenkin. I assume he's going to get NHL games this year, pretty much no matter what.
Oh yeah, for sure. He strikes me very much as like the Boyd Kane, in the sense that, like, if the call up is required, that's the guy getting called up.
And because he can do a number of things, like, oh yeah, he could fill in on the power play. He could play bottom 6 minutes if we're going to elevate someone, like someone in the top six gets hurt. All right, we'll elevate someone, and then, okay, we need someone to fill that role. Like, because he can kind of be that versatile. I think he's going to get NHL games, but it's just fun when someone makes it right out of camp.
It is fun.
Like, the coach is positively predisposed to them. I think it bodes well.
Guys forcing them their way onto the roster,
like Brink did,
is fun. Yes, I like when it happens.
I will say, like, 12 goals in 50 AHL games last year. I would love to see it be a little bit more. Like,
I mean, sure.
But the offense, again, maybe that's one of those things where, surrounded with better players, because he's going to be more of a role player. He's got individual skills, but a complementary piece. Mike Knuble isn't Mike Knuble without the rest of that power play working.
Right.
Like, maybe he can be that kind of guy. Not that Mike Knuble exists anymore, but something like that where, all right, yeah, the AHL and NHL production are the same. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, and he scored 15 goals for you on the fourth line in the NHL, the same number he would have scored in the AHL. Maybe he's that kind of guy. All right. Something else I wanted to pull out before we take the next break. And hit the like button. 78 likes, not nearly enough.
78?
That is embarrassing, fam. Come on, let's get that going here. We're talking prospects. We're talking fun stuff today. We are a daily show all throughout the summer. Hit the like button.
You're embarrassing us with Charlie not here.
Yeah, I told you I want to do better on the days Charlie isn't here than when he was here, and you're making me look like a damn fool.
Hit it.
I found this funny.
Oh.
So Aleksei Kolosov made Charlie and Alex's top 20 prospects list at number 19.
Fascinating.
He was not on BSH's under 25 honorable mention list, and he hasn't been in the first 11 names of players who've been put out so far. So I get the feeling he isn't going to come up on that
I don't want to
list.
spoil anything, but he's number one. No, he's not.
I guess
didn't make the list, fam.
Like, again, the differences between the lists.
Yeah.
Like, actual NHL players, like Tyson Forster is an NHL
under 25.
Yeah, like Tyson Forster's on your list.
Right.
Like, that's going to push certain dudes out. Whereas, Kolosov, I guess, still technically has upside as
he is a prospect.
As a prospect, but honestly, I am just surprised that he was mentioned on the prospect list because, one, Charlie's sick of him, And 2, I just
Worst goaltender
I
in
think
the league.
yeah, the numbers were the worst we've ever had. And 2, I assume like they're like, "Oh yeah, he's going to report," you know? And then that's going to be yes, and then he's traded. Like I don't
Oh yeah,
see
we don't even
him.
know if he's gonna come back, do we?
Yeah, I think they're
'Cause he's a
expecting him
a
to.
big baby.
I think they're expecting him to.
Okay.
But I bet you that one of the reasons they're expecting him to, like just looking at the way things are shaping up right now.
Yeah.
So we have Ersson and Vladar in the NHL.
Yep.
We expect Fedotov to be waived. It'll be him and Bjarny in the
Mhm.
AHL. If you didn't like Allentown, are you gonna like Reading?
You're not.
Like, is he gonna want to? They
It's
all like the
worse.
Russian players all think the AHL is beneath them. You think he's gonna be real excited to report to the ECHL?
Sure don't.
I think this is pure speculation. I have no one has said anything about this to just to be sure. I think the whole idea of, oh yeah, we expect him to be at camp is he's going to show up, and on in that good faith, we will then trade him elsewhere. And now he's someone else's
That'll be
problem.
great.
He was just
Godspeed.
you can see the athleticism. He's got certain traits. But at the end of the day, he just let in so many goals. So many goals.
And the attitude is just
Yeah,
abhorrent.
mixed with, yeah.
I don't want to deal with that attitude paired with that level of talent. Like if you were Carey Price out of the gate at your
Deal with
age,
it, yeah.
all right, cool. You can make some demands. You can be a little bit of a prima donna, and we'll deal with you. But you were given the opportunity that you demanded, and you looked terrible in it.
You're like
So just go away.
867 save percentage
867.
and a goals against of 3.4.
Is that good?
Quality starts 4 out of 13. Really bad starts 5 out of 13. I love the really bad
Really
start.
bad is a great stat.
I think it's a hockey reference thing. It's developed. It says right here. That's fun. Developed by Rob Volman in the Hockey Abstract. Really bad starts are starts with a save percentage below 85, below an 850 save percentage. He had 5.
Fam,
850 wasn't good enough in 1983.
I would kind of love to know. I wish Charlie was here to explain to me. Like, how is there not a guy to push him off of this list?
I just think because he's a 23-year-old goalie, he'll be 24 in
guess,
January, who did show a lot of promise in the KHL.
Sure.
Who seems to still have some tools, but like, I'm not going to judge a 22, 23-year-old goalie off of 13 starts, 17 total games.
I am.
But he also wasn't very good in the AHL either.
Nope.
Like,
Wasn't good there either.
That's a little concerning, but goalies are weird. Who the hell knows? He's probably the next Hasek. All right, with that, let's take that second commercial break. Kelly just wildly unforgiving. I got to talk to you about our friends with Monarch Money. Listen, I'm one of these people who probably couldn't name, even just a few weeks ago, all of my financial accounts, my financial status, everything going on, what I have in every account, where the money's going, all of that. And a lot of that burden, because of my irresponsibility, falls to my wife, which is just totally not fair. You know, financial stress is one of the major stresses in life, and she basically has to take care of 2 people because the other one's an idiot. That is
She knows what she was gonna do.
Yeah, you know, I say, you know, you're married all the time, but I am working on it. I am working on it, fam, and I am working on it with Monarch Money, because Monarch Money is built for people who don't know what they're doing, or you do and you just maybe want a little bit better organization, a little bit better of a financial app to help you organize everything. I've learned a ton just about where our money's going, where it's coming from, what we have in each account, what we use each account for. It's super easy. It's super easy to use. Even I, financial stunad, can figure it out. And they're banking on you feeling the same about it as well, because they've got a pretty great deal coming up for you. You don't want to let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. That's why you got to use code PHLY at monarchmoney.com for half off your first year. Find out for yourself, 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code PHLY. I'm telling you how much it's been helping me, how much stress it has relieved out of my life and out of my marriage. If you maybe need a little help figuring out exactly what your financial status is, check out monarchmoney.com right now and use that code PHLY. All right. Now it's time to tell you about our friends at Parx Casino, because whether your favorite team wins or not, there's always another way to win on the BetParx online casino app. You have to check out new casino games like Huff and More Puff and Flahr, but Fireblaze Sky Queen, a BetParx exclusive. It's the only app I use to play all my favorite casino games right in the palm of my hand. They've got blackjack, roulette, craps, poker, baccarat, and hot online slots like Cash Eruption and Cleopatra. And they've got slots based on your favorite streaming shows like The Walking Dead and Peaky Blinders. And right now, new users, you got to listen up, because new users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down in the first 24 hours. All you have to do is go to betparx.com and download the app right now and enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Must be 21 or older and in PA, Jersey, Maryland, or Michigan for BetParx. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Yeah, I don't know how much we actually need to talk about the Aleksei Kolosov situation further than that. Let's hit this before it gets too late in the show. I don't want to go into overtime with it. So if you've been paying attention, I badly don't want to talk about Carter Hart. I just, for selfish reasons, also, it's upsetting to many people. The whole situation is just ugly.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. Everything about it sucks. But it's unavoidable now because it's in the news. The not guilty verdict came down, over a month ago at this point?
It's been a while.
And it's making the rounds that, of course, teams are interested in Carter Hart. He is the highest profile of the players. He is a player who's not yet 27, I don't think, who plays a premium position that half the league needs, including, the team that has lost in the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years. So
Yeah.
it's come up, and we got a report from David Pagnotta over at the Fourth Period the other day. It says there are several teams, including the Philadelphia Flyers, interested in goaltender Carter Hart, but they continue to wait on the NHL's decision to determine whether he is eligible to play. Right now, none of those 5 guys are eligible, but I don't really know what the league's standing on that is, because the union is kind of arguing, hey, there's no rule, They weren't found guilty. There's not really a set precedent for this. It seems as if there is a good chance these players are going to be eligible at some point this season.
Probably.
I bet you they forced through a suspension because, the players' union ain't that strong.
Yeah.
But I would be surprised if it's the whole year. So Carter Hart is going to be available at some time. And listen, he's also Hart was also tied to the Leafs. But that was by Eklund at Hockey Buzz, for whatever that's worth.
E4.
It has been suggested to be an option by so many sources for the Oilers. I heard Wish say it on Marek's show yesterday.
The Oilers make perfect sense.
Everyone has connected those dots.
Yeah.
He's working out in Edmonton. Edmonton badly needs a goaltender. He's he played in the WHL.
Edmonton has showed they have no problem taking on dudes that are sus morally.
I want to defer to you because I don't know how to address this. I am not equipped in this toolbox, and I know you want to, but
I'm gonna be professional.
I know. Okay. Listen, I trust you to talk about this. What the hell should fans seem to be split on this?
I don't know.
There seems to be a lot.
Split.
There seems to be a lot of people on one side of this.
Yeah.
It has turned into sports like everything does. You're either for it or against it. There's no room for nuance or conversation ever. It's just yelling at people on social media.
Yep.
But this it sucks. I don't want to get into it. And that's why I'm kind of I know they need a goalie. What they have right now, probably no good. I have zero interest in Carter Hart.
Okay, so here's the thing. First of all, was Carter Hart good at times when he played here? Absolutely, yes. Wasn't that good at the end? And certainly wasn't good. People seem to have retconned him into Bernie Perrant or something when he was here. He was so good that you absolutely cannot pass up the opportunity to bring him back. And that's the first thing that's completely inaccurate.
I believe he established himself as a true number one NHL goalie, which is, listen, there's not a ton of them left. But in
Right.
terms of, is he getting Vezina votes? He's not that guy.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not Connor Hellebuck. Like, he's not. Would he be better than what we have? Probably.
Yeah.
But like, that's the lowest bar on earth.
Yeah,
so like, whatever. Also, based on what I've seen, this whole the Flyers are interested thing has come from one particular source that tends to like attention.
This came from David Pagnotta, but I don't know where he got it
right.
initially.
I feel like the initial source of the Flyers are going to want Carter Hart back came out very soon after the not guilty verdict, which makes it, to me, seem unlikely that the Flyers would have been like 2 days later, oh yeah, we're bringing him back. Like, that seems unlikely to me that someone at the team was telling a guy in the media that we're going to get this guy back, like, directly after the verdict came down. Because as you said, no one even knows what's going to happen yet. No one even knows if they're ever going to be allowed to play again. It's up in the air.
Yeah, again, like, this is the NHLPA we're talking about.
Right. They're not exactly.
They might file a petition to get these guys.
Union.
They might file a petition to get these guys reinstated and end up accidentally getting them banned for life.
Right.
Like, while there isn't a set precedent,
yeah.
It's also the NHLPA.
So right now, for me, there is absolutely no actual evidence that Danny Briere and Keith Jones are considering bringing Carter Hart back. I have zero reason to believe that that is something that someone in the organization definitively said out loud to someone in the media. I don't think that happened.
I would be surprised.
The other thing is, this is a team in transition. This is a team that has spent the last 2 years working real hard to fix the image of the organization that had been completely burned to the ground for a number of reasons. They have been working very hard at that. It would be surprising to me for them to bring back a guy, and I'm going to be real clear here. You can miss me with the he was found not guilty stuff, because being found not guilty in court doesn't mean you didn't do something wrong. And if you read anything about what happened on that evening that came out in that trial, it was a very, to be as nice as possible, it was an icky situation. It was morally reprehensible. If you want to argue crime or not, whatever, that's not my business. It was gross what he did. It was gross. The whole situation was gross. And he's just not good enough for this team to take that PR hit. And also, as far as I remember, when all of this started before, when his game started to suffer and we all thought it was because of the pandemic and he was like depressed about being alone and all that kind of stuff, it's very clear now what was distracting him from being a good goaltender anymore. And from what I understand, he lied to the team multiple times about his involvement.
We talked about this before the show, because that's my understanding of the situation as it comes to player and team, is even if Comcast signed off on this, and even if it was, well, we need the goalie, so let's look into it, I think I have heard that there were conversations between the front office and the player in which the player misrepresented the facts.
Exactly.
And that is then a personal thing between the front office and the player, if nothing else. If we're going to throw moral compass out, all that, it's like, do you personally trust him? No, because he's lied to me before. Like, if that's the case, then I don't see, even if they were like, we need a goalie, and he was found not guilty and all that, the PR will deal with it. That right there, it's, if that's the case, then I don't see how you rebuild that sort of relationship.
And that's the thing. At the end of the day, even if Danny Briere and Keith Jones don't think he did a thing wrong, even if they think he's a great goaltender that's going to change the face of the team or whatever, which they don't because he's not, they lied to his face. And there's no way a couple of hockey men are going to forgive that fact. Like, they're going to be like, nah, dude, you lied to us. Like, we don't want anything to do with you. You're a liar. We can't trust you. You're obviously prone to doing things that you'll probably have to lie to us about again. So like, I just don't see it happening. It doesn't make any sense for the Flyers specifically to bring him back. I think the bridge was doused in gasoline and completely on fire for a number of reasons, and I just don't think it's going to happen. So, like, will he play again? Definitely. The other 4, probably not. They're not good enough for anybody to care. He's good. He's probably going to play again. It's probably going to be in Edmonton. He'll probably have a fine career. Whatever. It's not going to be here. So, like, people need to let it go.
And just
like, honestly, if you're like if you're advocating for him to come back, like, that's gross, dude. Like, what's wrong with you?
I also, like, let's live in this hypothetical for a second. Carter Hart is actually innocent. Let's say the team, and like all the other 4 teams did it too. I guess 3 teams, but whatever. Completely walked away from him.
Yeah.
Is that going to be your first choice? Now, maybe he's not going to have like a first or second choice, and it's like whoever signs me to a PTO, and then I got to play in the AHL to get back in shape, and then hopefully I can restart my NHL career. But like, is Philadelphia the place that was like, nah, see ya, bro? Like, is that going to be the place you would start?
Right, exactly. Why would he come
I don't
back
see
here?
a fit other than we need a goalie.
Yeah.
But so does half the league.
Right, exactly.
The second best team in the league 2 years in a row needs a goalie badly. I don't see this being a fit.
No,
we'll keep abreast of the situation.
The Oilers bring in bad dudes left and right. Whatever you want to say about them, they seem to have no issue with that particular part of hockey culture. And they desperately need a goaltender. It's obviously the one thing that's been holding them back every single season in the playoffs. If he doesn't go to Edmonton, I'm going to quit the show.
I will be
nothing makes more sense than him going to Edmonton.
It just seems like the easiest, like, A to B.
Right.
Like
it's like so obvious.
They need a goalie. He's an available goalie. Like,
he's from there.
The best player on the team might leave if they don't get a goalie.
Right, exactly. Like,
it seemed, but we'll keep, we're going to monitor the situation same as everyone else. It's just my stance right now is I'd be shocked if he came back here.
And I would take every single one of these. The Flyers are interested in Carter Hart reports with like the largest grain of salt you could possibly, one of those big pink salt lamps, like just a giant grain of salt, because I think it came from one place. And I think that place generated it because we got some YouTube views and some clicks days later.
I don't want to end on this. Do we have any super chats?
Let's talk about fun things.
Let's talk about something fun.
You know what I like to look forward to at the beginning of every hockey season?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to hit a few of yesterday's mailbag questions. Yeah. And this one was from Devin. Favorite hockey is back thing that happens every year?
So if you're a city person like I am, there's a sign store in Old City that every year puts a giant Flyers flag out front, like a giant Flyers like banner thing. And I think sometimes Angelo's does it too down in South Philly. Once that giant Flyers flag goes up, I'm like, here we are.
Yeah,
it's happening.
I'll tell you, like, the weather got a little cool over the weekend, and I was just like, I can smell it. I can smell hockey coming.
Crispiness.
And that's, it's just that little bit of, and I got a little excited. Like, as bad as I never want the offseason to end because it's so fun, just doing nothing. I will say having actual stuff to talk about every day will be a lot easier. But like, I do start to miss it at this time. Like, it has now been long enough. Like Memorial Day, 4th of July, I am thinking about anything but hockey. And now I'm like, let's go. Like, let's get going again. So yeah, I am feeling good.
I made the chat big mad, Bill.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
From Nick Hankins, I want to do this one too, because we kind of touched on it. Why does local media seem so much more positive about the direction of the team versus the national media? And like I said yesterday, it's because we can see the little things. Yeah. Like, we can see something percolating. Like, Alex Bump is on no national person's radar as we head to overtime. If you're part of the TV audience, there we go. If you're part of the TV audience, head to allphly.com to finish the show. Like, Alex Bump not on anyone's radar as from a national perspective. Maybe a little bit after the national championship, but it's like, yeah, man, that's not Matthew Schaefer. Like, that's not Tisha Ginla. Like,
no, the national media has zero reason to pay attention to the Flyers. The Flyers have been garbage for the last like 5 years, and that's what they see. Like, they aren't watching the Flyers night in, night out like we are. They aren't paying attention to, like you said, the little things. They're not keeping up with like the prospects that are in the pipeline and who might make the team out of camp. They're taking a look at the standings the last 3 or 4 years being like, team stinks. And then they're looking at the current roster being like, well, that's not that good.
4th worst team in hockey last year. They added Dvorak, Vladar, and Zegras. And it's like, all right, Dvorak, nice player. Good depth for you. Zegras, we're taking a risk. Like, this is a chance we are taking here. And I am positively predisposed to the Flyers. I want it to work.
Yeah.
So I'm choosing to believe it could right now.
Right.
We'll see. But everyone in the national media is like, have you seen what he did the last 2 years?
Exactly.
Dan Vladar. Like,
Yeah.
I do think maybe there's something else there. Same with Sam Ersson. But if you look at the results over recent seasons, they're not good.
And also, like, I feel like the rehabilitation project that we were talking about with this organization, I think locally in Philly with Flyers fans and Flyers media, I do think that like that corner has been turned. Like, we see that things are different. We see that the direction is different. We see Danny Briere and Keith Jones like doing good things all the time that make us think like, okay, things have changed, positive direction. This is going to be good. The national, Elliot Friedman doesn't care that like Dan Hilferty is shaking hands at Flyers practices. Like, he doesn't care.
No, and
he doesn't see that stuff.
You know how we say sometimes like the Selke Award goes to, and like these things have changed a little because advanced stats are so pervasive now. But for years it was like, oh yeah, the Selke Award, you know who won it? The guy who was the best defensive forward 3 years ago. The Norris Trophy, it's last year's best defenseman.
Right.
It will take those people, the national media, and this is for all sports, like time to catch up to what's actually happening.
Sure.
'Cause they have 32 teams to worry about. Like, so I just think being a little closer to it. And listen, you and I are homers.
I'm a homer.
I want them to be good. So therefore, I am going to right now on September 3rd go, yeah, man, Zegras is going to be like 65 point, 70 point, really good 2C for you. He's going to turn the power play around.
The next,
Dan Vladar and Sam Ersson, they're going to stop 902 save percentage.
No, yeah.
902 would set the world on fire.
Hilarious.
But like, I am going to think those things right now. And then when it does or doesn't happen, I will amend.
I'm going to put, the next time I'm in Atlantic City, because that's the only way I know how to actually sports bet, because I'm very slow, I'm going to put $20 on them to win the Stanley Cup like I do every year.
Yeah, make sure you go to Bet365.
I'll go to Bet365 and do it, because I know how to do that.
Whatever the moment. Never ordinary.
It's never ordinary, as you can see. Yeah.
And that is all the time we have for you on PHLY Flyers today. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that freaking like button. Do it. We want some likes. Make sure you're following us right here on YouTube. This is the new start time, 4 o'clock. I'm still getting messages from people like, it threw me off. I'm like, we've been saying it for weeks.
You've been saying it for weeks.
If you just set that notification bell, you'll find out whenever we go live. It'll be right there for you. Follow us on all the socials. We're at PHLY_Flyers on Twitter. Follow the podcast wherever you get those. Just search PHLY Flyers. That's it for us. I am Bill Matz. That is Kelly Hinkle. Till tomorrow, be excellent to each other.
We all silly like the mayor.